Hello, plant community. Thanks for tuning into Full of Foliage. Pam's here creating a safe space, showing lots of grace, sharing a lot of plant care, plant hauls, planty crafts, and the occasional shopping trips. Join me so that we can become planty friends, have fun, and possibly learn and grow. Hey guys, a few weeks ago or not too long ago, I shared with you a video where I talked about types of plants that you could have in your collection to create a jungle vibe for that plant parent that loves to travel, that wants to have a life and not be bound by caretaking of plants all day. And in that video, some of the things that we touched on, some of the plants that we discussed were, of course, the traditional ZZ plants, snake plants, aloes, and other succulents such as that nature. But what if you are that person to say, hey, those items are kind of cool and classy, but I still am intrigued by more exotic looking plants, more plants that can actually fulfill my idea aesthetics as far as an inside indoor jungle. So you can actually have those things going on in your house, but there are certain tools or certain steps that you can do to ensure that your plants stay happy and healthy while you're that plant parent that loves to travel, live life, but yet come back home to a beautiful, luscious, green, different variety of a plant collection. If this seems like something that you guys may be interested in, please show support by giving big thumbs up, liking, sharing, as well as double checking to ensure that you are subscribed. Thank you so much in advance. So let's jump right into it. So there's 5 tips that I'm actually going to share with you of what you can try to do to protect your plants and make sure that they don't go through too much of a transition. Now, let's just face it, full disclosure out there, all the steps that we can do will help your plants ensure that they stay alive, and that's the goal there. There may be cases where they're not able to thrive, and that's okay. We just want our plant babies to survive us not being around for a certain amount of time. So step number 1, you guys, give your plant some love. And what do I mean by that? If you know that you are about to leave a week, 2 weeks, or whatever the case may be, it is a good time to love up on your plant by inspecting them. Check them for pests. Take a look at their leaves. See what's going on in the soil. Also, if you see any brittle, dry leaves, dying leaves, cut them off. Give your plants a rinse over or a wipe down. This will ensure that you know for certain that, okay, when you leave, that there's no real issues going on with the plant. Sometimes we may forget to do that and we go out and we come back 2-3 weeks later and it may not have been necessarily the steps that we've taken to ensure that this plant stay healthy, but the plant all along, unbeknownst to us, could have had some form of an issue prior to you leaving. So this is why I say it's very vital that you give it some love, and also remember to give it a nice good drink. Speaking of drink, by the way, step number 2, we want to ensure that our plant babies are hydrated. And if you've done research online, there is plethora of information out there. You can do that as well if you are not sure which way to go about it. So I'm just going to go over some brief things of what I have and ideas as far as how to keep your plants hydrated. Starting with this tool right here, this apparatus that I'm about to show you. I've shared with y'all before on this channel, and it's this water globe. Basically, you fill this up with the water, and this part goes into the soil, and like a straw-like action, the plant is soaking it up as it needs water. This is very helpful. Now, I'm not a plant parent that travels a lot, but I do have a lot of plants in my collection, and so you need some form of watering apparatuses wherever you can get it to kind of like save you time and energy with running through a plethora of a large collection. So I can honestly say that these do work. Now, also too, I can't stress this enough, you definitely want to water your plants first before you do any of these, because if you just stick it in something dry, she's going to drink it up. But if you have that moist soil, you stick it in there, she's going to say, you know what, I'm not thirsty right now. But when I am, I know where to go. So keep that in mind. Another thing, let's say you don't want to go ahead and buy this, and I understand we want to save dimes wherever we can because it's tough out here, right? So another thing that I do besides this is I have a water, well, a bottle. This is a old soda bottle or whatever, a juice bottle, whatever you want, whatever you normally buy. You might want to hold on to a couple of them. And what I did is I soldered some holes in it, and it's the same mechanism as far as with the globe. You just turn it upside down. So I'm about to show you. I'll do a little quick demonstration so you can see what I mean. So let's check it out below. Okay guys, so I hope you can see as much as possible. I'm using this particular plant just as an example because I don't think I've watered her for a few days. So she is kind of dry and in fact is in need for a drink. So this is one of my Monstera constellation that I don't think I've really talked too much about. This particular one on this channel, I usually show you guys the other one that I have, but this one is just another one that I brought at a much cheaper price and I decided to add to my collection. But anyway, for the sake of demonstration, this is already filled with water, you guys. And you want to kind of make sure that the neck part of the bottle is actually emerged into the soil. So I'm just going to try to make a little path and stick her down. And like I said, you want to make sure that that neck is covered. And you see how she's wicking it up? This is the reason why I say, you guys, before doing this, you want to water your plant first. Again, as I stated, she is dry. So as you can see, she is drinking it up quite quickly. So if you don't water your plants before you leave and you do this, then she's just going to be hydrated. But will she be hydrated long enough for you to return? And will you have a wilting plant on your hand? So this is a very good option. And I really love this. And you don't really come out of pocket, especially if you already buy things in bottles. Anyway, I'm going to take this out because there's another demonstration I want to give you. And I'll probably will give her this when I finish showing you guys. I put her back in here because I didn't know if the water was going to drip out. Another option that you can do, of course, after you water her, you could take newspaper or paper towels. This right here is paper towels that's already been kind of pre-soaked in water. You could actually layer it and push it into the soil. Doing this will ensure lock in that moisture from after you watered her and also give her a little bit more moisture as she tries to start to dry out. Now, traditionally, or honestly, you guys, research has shown me that this trick right here could last for maybe about a week. Maybe a week and a half would be stretching it. But I had another idea to add to this to maybe increase the time a little bit longer. And that is using cling wrap. So I'm thinking, okay, if you put the cling wrap around here, as so, just more or less is just wrapping the plant. Now, granted, is it aesthetically pleasing? No, it's not. But who cares? You're not going to be in the house, so you're not going to see it. And again, the key is to ensure that your plants thrive. So you could easily use cling wrap around to protect your plant as well. And doing so will lock the moisture in, I think, even longer and buy you some time. And it don't look too bad. What do you think? Check that one out. And one more other option that you can do as far as maintaining moisture, ensuring that your plants is hydrated, which is also a foolproof way of ensuring that your plants are staying hydrated, is, and I'm sorry about this, I really wanted to find a smaller plant that I had in my collection in a self-watering pot, but I could not. So self-watering pots, you guys. And I know you can't see me. As you can see right here, this is my massive begonia maculata. She is in a self-watering pot. Dare I say, game changer for this plant. But also too, you, like I said, you can water her. You go out on vacation, say you're going to be gone for 3 weeks. This is actually the perfect thing to do. You can actually water her on the top a day before you leave, and then fill the bottom of the reservoir up. She will soak the water up as you are basking in the sun away from the vacation, and you don't have to worry about your plants, and you come back home and she should be just as beautiful as she is here. She's heavy, you guys. Put her down. Oh, don't drop her. Don't drop her. Okay. So tip number 3, you guys, run, if you have one in your home. Of course, I don't recommend you buying things unnecessarily if you don't have to, but if you have one, run that time humidifier in your home. I have one in here, and it does do wonders when the air is dry, and I have it on a timer, and it just does wonders with adding moisture into the air, moisture into your plants, and it also prevents that plant from drying out. I highly recommend you doing that. Lesson number 4, you guys. Keywords or key phrase: less light is your friend. And what I mean by that, you have to think about the relationship of how a plant grows and use energy, which is basically by being blasted with tons and tons of light. The more light you give it, the more often you notice that you're watering the plant. But if you reduce the light, then they will conserve that energy a little bit longer. So pull them away from those bright indirect areas. I'm not saying don't give them any light, because it depends on how long you're going to be gone. And you don't want to have your plant babies completely in the dark for maybe 2+ weeks. But if it's less than maybe 2 weeks, maybe you can actually put them in a dark corner and they'll be fine. Now, granted, are they thriving at this point in time while you're out on vacation? No. But that's not the goal. The goal is to make sure that you come back and every plant that you have in your collection, for the most part, stays alive. And that's the goal, and that's the idea and concept that we have. So move those plants away from those bright light corners. Put them in a subtle, medium, low light area. I know that may be a little bit risque. You may not be willing to do it, but hey, you know what? You could try it out for yourself and see whether or not if it works. But I recommend doing that. It really does slow down the process time. I noticed that when you do pull them away, they're not using a lot of energy, and you're not having to water them that often. So you may want to go there. Now, the final tip, you guys, is almost related to the light, and that is lowering the temperature in your home. Same thing. If you have the heat up, or let's say well, I guess the heat up. I'm thinking from the perspective of if you have the heat up. If you have the heat up, it is drying out your plants. Your plants is using up more energy. The soil is drying up quickly. But if you lower it down where it's not blasting so much of the temperature, then you have more of a chance for that plant to hold on to its energy source a little bit longer, letting them have moisture in their container a lot longer, thus providing them with what they need until you come back. Now, those are 5 tips, you guys. One of the things that I strongly recommend, I'm not a botanist by any means. I'm just a plain simple plant girl with a big collection, and I like talking to you guys about it. So take what I say as a grain of salt. What I also recommend you do, outside of not just the suggestions that I have, if you looked online and you saw other things that you think may work for you, that's great. Try it. But what I do recommend you doing is my suggestions and other suggestions. Try it a couple of weeks before you actually leave. And the reason why is because I'm sharing you perspectives from my indoor environment, and every one of us have different indoor environments. Every one of us do not live in the same type of atmosphere and things like that. And so these are the things that we also have to consider on whether or not if these tips and tricks are actually going to be helpful for you. But I do believe that some of the things that I've shared with you as far as ensuring that your plants stay hydrated will definitely be quite beneficial. Hey, you guys, for those of you that do travel and you do some tips and tricks before you go on to your vacation, holiday, or whatever you call it, comment, let us know in this plant community any steps that you may actually do, extra steps outside of what I mentioned. If you do something different, share with us so that we can all be in the know, because no one is growing. And then when we grow, our plants grow as well. So that ends this video, you guys. Keep in mind, if you love foliage as much as I do, and you love listening to planty things, double check for me, make sure you subscribe, and keep pushing those thumbs up, up, and up. It's been helping getting my channel out there. Thank you, too. Big shout outs to everybody that has hyped me. I appreciate that support, especially for a small YouTuber such as myself. I really do appreciate it. Enjoy your day wherever you are in the world, and until next time, guys, much love. Bye.